Okay, we're going to jump into document D today, which is some of the practices and beliefs. So let's take a look at document D. And while I read some background information again from my notes, these aren't going to be on your screen anywhere. You can go ahead and prep the document by adding the question to the top of the page. Education in Sparta, did the strengths outweigh the weaknesses? The reason we keep writing that at the top of the page is to remember the purpose for reading this document. And as we're reading it, we're trying to find the answer to that question. So go ahead and prep your document at the top. Here is some background information for you. The number of public documents that have been found from the 5th century Sparta is very low compared to the number found from the 5th century Athenians. Only a few inscriptions have been unearthed, suggesting that literacy in Sparta was very low. So the fact that in Athens, many public documents have been found written from at the time. In Sparta, there are very few written documents, which suggests that many people likely couldn't read and write, and it was not a priority for their people. Respect for one's elders was a constant theme in Spartan training. When a boy left home for the Agoge at age 7, his natural father was replaced as an authority figure by Agoge leaders and older boys. Absolute obedience was paramount, and Sparta's existence was believed to depend upon obedience to elders. The Spartan belief that all manual labor, including farming, was helots' work raises questions about how adult Spartan males spent their time when they were not on military campaigns. Hunting was a major preoccupation and was one of the very few acceptable excuses for missing the evening mess. So as we read this document, I want you to be really thinking about the morals and values of the Spartan education system as you see through what they were put their emphasis into. Okay. So I'm going to read this to you now. The Spartans, let's talk about the source. It's again Plutarch, and this is a different writing called Moralia, the Ancient Customs of the Spartans, circa 100 CE. So this is probably 500 years after the fact. He wrote this 500 years later. In ancient Greek, the word moralia means values or virtues. The Spartans learned to read or write for purely practical reasons, but all other forms of education they banned from the country, books and treaties being included in this as much as foreign teachers. Moreover, the young men were required to not only respect their own fathers and to be obedient to them, but to have regard for all older men, to make room for them on the streets, to give up their seats to them, and to keep quiet in their presence. The boys of Sparta were lashed with whips during the entire day at the altar of Artemis or Thea, frequently to the point of death, and they bravely endured this, cheerful and proud, vying with one another as to which of them could endure the beating for the longer time and the greater number of blows. And the one who was victorious was held in special repute. This competition is called the flagellation and takes place each year. Sounds fun. It was not permitted to take up any menial low-laid trade at all, and there was no need whatever of making money. The helots tilled the soil for them. It was not allowed them to go abroad, so they should have nothing to do with foreign ways and undisciplined modes of living. Abroad means out of their city-state or out of their country. They did not attend either comedy or tragedy, those are plays in the theater, so that they may not hear anyone speak either in earnest or in jest against the laws. They did not attend theater or plays. They were seriously concerned over their music and songs. The rhythmic movements of their marching songs was such as to excite courage and boldness and contempt for death, and they used both in dancing and also in the accompaniment of the flute when advancing upon the enemy. So as you're making notes, be thinking about the values and the virtues of the Spartans as determined by their tactics. Read through this one paragraph at a time. Make a note or two on each paragraph and underline and highlight if you wish. When you're done, look at my notes and decide if you want to add anything. When you're finished with that, you're going to go through the analysis questions in present mode one by one so that you can think through before you answer. You don't need to just copy my answers down. Also, if you're using the online version, that's all available here. You've got the audio support. In ancient Greek. I'm sorry, didn't mean to play that. And then we've got our document analysis here at the bottom. All right, I'm going to let you work on that, and then I'll go over and make a video about document E next.